In this pump episode, well, it looks like Christmas is not the only thing coming early this year. Guys, as we talked about in yesterday's video, it does look like there's a possibility we're getting the complete reverse fractal scenario that we got beginning back in the summer of last year, where we have a triangle, a BART, a very important cross on this daily chart, and then a swing fake out to the opposite side of what that cross would usually indicate. In this webisode, we're going to be going into more detail with that, but guys, that begs the question, will we still be going below 9,000, or has this pullback 100% completed already? Guys, as you know, for the past few weeks, we've had a pullback target slightly under 9,000, but good golly gumdrops, I would love absolutely nothing more than to be wrong about that. And as we talked about yesterday, we broke above 10.6, and I would love to actually see a retest here to confirm that exactly at 10.6 before moving forward, guys, but we're going to be delving into that on the shorter time frames as well. And on these longer time frames, this is actually shaping up to be pretty beautiful, right? We had our weekly close candle for Bitcoin last night with two consecutive weekly candles now getting wicks right down to the 20-21 week moving average and bouncing up, guys. Is this the beginning of a reversal of this short-term trend over the last few weeks? Or in fact, could we still be hitting lower targets? Wow, so sit back, relax, crack open a juice, and sit on your caboose. Wow. Welcome back to the channel, Squirty Squadron. We have some very interesting, exciting stuff to be talking about today, you guys. And as well, we are going to be covering some very interesting short-term targets. And as well, some of this long-term stuff is actually shaping up to potentially be one of the most beautiful reversals that we can see on these long-term charts, guys. As you know, I have been extremely mid and long-term bullish. However, in the past 2 weeks, I've been quite cautious and as well been pretty short-term bearish on these charts, even with a target of about 86 to 8,700. Now, will we be getting that pullback? Or in fact, is this a cemented reversal? So guys, I want to be very cautious about that. So we're going to be diving in and kind of walking through it very carefully. Here, so guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you get updated when we upload new videos. And as well, if we can smash 1,300 likes in this webisode like we did in the last webisode, then we'll be giving away a ledger in the next Schwebisode. And without any further ado, it is milking time. Wow, so this weekly candle close that we just cemented for Bitcoin, guys, is yet another step for confirming this disbelief phase of a market psychology cycle. This is very interesting for Bitcoin, guys. So are we going to continue to hold along this 21-week moving average, which, as we've been saying, is by far the most key long-term moving average, and in my opinion, probably just the most key moving average in general on a chart, right? Actually, something really awesome that we're seeing as well, as we talked about multiple times over the past few weeks, is this RSI, this 54 area. Let's actually move this up. It's around 53, 54, but right around roughly about 50, 54. This is a very key level where we didn't go below the entire 2-year bull market of 2016 into 2017, right? So beginning at the end of 2015, going all the way to the beginning of 2018, we did not go below this weekly RSI for Bitcoin the entire time. This is where we found 4 major bounces. Okay, right here, right here, right here, and right here. Now, very similar to the start of that RSI pattern was first coming into this oversold area right above 70 and then breaking straight down basically to that 54, kind of similar to like what we saw in very late 2015 at the actual kickstart of that bull cycle. So seeing a decent bounce so far in this weekly RSI is absolutely honestly pretty bullish, because there are a lot of scenarios floating around right now, and there are a lot of things we're watching for, right? With the most bearish, as we said, going down to 86 or 8,700 USD before a very sharp reversal back above 10K, and most likely back above 12, 13, and even 14K. But right now, this is actually shaping up to be an even more short-term bullish reversal, and that's what we're getting a little excited about, but we can't get too excited just yet. So that's a really good sign to see on the weekly chart, and as well, getting 2 weekly wicks all the way down to this 21 is also very, very good, I think. We're actually getting a Monday strong open, but before we dive into the Bitcoin TA, guys, we have to highlight the importance of this, which is just traditional stocks, right? So this is the SPX. We did get a very strong bounce today, which is what we said yesterday. We were going to be have our eyes glued to the charts because we wanted to see what would happen here. It went up, and what did Bitcoin do? Bitcoin went up as well. So basically bouncing around on the 50-day moving average. I do want to caution that I think the stock market and the traditional financial landscape is just very, very much so undetermined right now. I think it's very much in the air, and I'm a little uncertain as to the trajectory of this market. However, a strong weekly open is always pretty welcome. Ideally, though, what I would want to see for S&P is another strong, well, obviously a daily close today pretty strong, but then also tomorrow a pretty strong open tomorrow as well. De leche, por favor. Guys, now what we talked about yesterday was this. So we had a triangle pattern. This is all bearish back in the summer of 2019. Bearish triangle pattern, bearish BART here, and then a bullish cross that turned very bearish. And this year we had a bullish triangle, a bullish BART, and then a bearish cross here that could actually turn very bullish, right? So remember we talked about it yesterday, the entire video, the exact inverse situation of what we saw last year, basically, all focused around the $10,000 area being the most critical piece of that puzzle, right? So there are 4 portions of this. We have the triangle, we have the BART, we have the cross, and we have the curve the opposite direction of the cross, right? So now we have the triangle, we have the BART pattern, the cross, and then potentially the only thing we haven't seen come out yet out of all 8 of these is the potential follow through of a bullish break instead of a bearish with a bearish cross. And again, the key thing about all of this is that it is centered, the centerpiece of both of these were right at the $10,000 level, right? So that is the main thing about all of this, is that besides these patterns are inverse of each other so far, 7 out of 8 so far, the main thing though is that it's centered around that $10,000 level. So the very interesting thing about this is that if this actually continues, right, we're 7 out of 8 basically so far with a triangle, a BART, a cross, and then a swing the opposite direction of the cross. If that actually plays out, that actually is exciting because it could be the thing that propels us above this very, very key previous lower high, the 14,000 price target for Bitcoin that would initiate bull mode. As you see on this chart, this is exactly where it's at. This on this weekly chart is exactly the area that gets the most excitement back into the market, breaking this, right? Everybody's going to be freaking out in a very, very joyous, exuberant fashion if we break this level of about 14, right? And this is exciting because, in fact, this could be what we're going to see anyway. And even if this pattern isn't relevant, this exact setup still could actually lend to that same type of break, especially on these longer term charts where we see a very strong bounce off the 21-week moving average is extremely bullish. And again, even if this pattern doesn't repeat exactly, this could still lead us to be breaking 14K before the end of the year, which is exciting in general. Right, so our target of 86, 8,700 worst case scenario, if that played out, as we have always said, if that played out, the next move would be to break extremely bullish, right? We've always been saying that after we get our last drop, wherever the bottom is, most likely the next move will be extremely bullish to the upside. So that'd be very interesting to see if this 21 is actually holding support as it looks to so far. Again, I still think it's kind of early, and I'm not 100% confident in this just yet, but it is shaping up every weekly candle that we get, and it looks better and better every weekly candle. So with that being said, we could actually be seeing a move up to those previous all-time highs, well before the end, to break 14K, and then, very soon afterwards, most likely breaking all-time highs. But we could very well be seeing that very well before the end of 2020, which I think is very exciting. Wow, and if you're interested in trading this market, make sure to sign up with the links below. You get some of the highest bonuses on YouTube, and there's some very nice trading fee reductions, especially on Bybit right now. A lot of people have been signing up, so guys, if you're interested in supporting the channel, and as well, if you have experience trading, then I definitely recommend checking those out. So for Ethereum USD, actually, as we talked about yesterday, it does look actually like we got this cross. Yeah, we did get the cross of the 21-day going below the 50, but as we talked about yesterday, again, these crosses, as we're even talking about this cross doing the opposite of what it normally would do, these crosses are not super reliable, right? As we've been saying. So ideally, we could even see something like we saw back in June, just a few months ago, where we just find support basically right on this moving average, right? And if the price continues to go up over the next 2 days, then this will be exactly that. Ethereum, though, continues to hold extremely well at its current level, still currently above $370 with our lowest pullback still lowest, I would say, at the very lowest, if things take a very big downturn, probably finding support around $280. And then Chainlink as well, actually below the 50 and 21-day moving average, but very strong support, I believe, right around $11. So guys, again, if Bitcoin continues to swing to the upside, there's going to be immense strength in this market. We also definitely want to watch Ethereum to see if Ethereum's moving averages can kind of provide some pretty good support there for Ethereum. At time of recording, Ethereum is slightly below these moving averages. However, getting back above 390 would put us above that. So we're about $15 off right? Just a few percent, and it would be above that in a daily pump. But guys, as we're seeing right here, as we talked about yesterday and we talked about at the beginning of the video, getting a retest of 10.6 to confirm that, I think would be the best bet right now of what we're going to see over the next 24 hours. Retesting 10.6. And as well, this is going to be huge on this daily chart. If Bitcoin breaks above 10,850, then we would be crossing back above the 21-day moving average, which would also indicate more short-term upside. So that's the next thing we're going to look for on the daily chart. Ideally, though, we want to find support on 10.6 or stay above 10.6 all of today and get a daily close above 10.6. So that's what we're watching for. Again, this is still very, very early on in this move. So again, the risk to reward is a little off, right? This is not at all like a very confirmed setup just yet. We're just seeing a move up, and we're most likely going to come down to try and test this as support. And we just want to cement that, right? 10.6 is what I'm eyeing up right now. Many of you might actually be asking about the gap, and as we talked about in the last few videos, it's not something we're super interested in talking about lately. I think everyone's aware of the gap. And as I said, they most of the time do fill, but am I one of the people that believes each gap has to fill? No, absolutely not, right? It is 100% possible that we don't fill that gap. As I said before, there's still a gap down around like the $3,000 area, very, very far down there. So again, I don't think that one's going to fill. So then I have to basically side with the idea that not every single gap has to fill. Huge, guys, and let's smash this bad boy up to 1,300 like-a-ronies, and we will be giving away this ledger in the next webisode. Maybe leave a comment below of what you think. Do you think we're going to bounce at 10.6? Do you think this is a fake out? Do you think this is a true breakout? And what do you think about this idea here of bearish triangle, BART back up to the exact level before it broke out of the bearish triangle, then a bullish cross with a bearish continuation, followed by the exact opposite, a bullish triangle, and then a BART exactly up and back down to exactly where it broke out before it broke out of this triangle, and then a bearish cross with a bullish follow through.